Okay, so this is outside of Tau, the map where you get to it by using the climber to come all the way down into the abyss. This is the really dark map, and came up with a route that sort of goes out of bounds. I don't know if it's technically out of bounds, but I'm going to go ahead and show that now. The first run through I'm going to go with overdraw so you can actually see what's going on, because like after I do the debug overdraw version of the route, then I'll go through it another time like you would see it in a normal playthrough, and you can see why I have debug overdraw on for the first time, because it's just really dark going through it normally. Anyway, we're not going to be using any props or anything, we're just going to be walking out of bounds. So this entire map has these death triggers that exist all along the outsides of the places that you would normally not want to go. Like, see all out over there, there are death triggers everywhere. So the route that I'm going to go is bypassing them, because there's like a hole in the death triggers right in front of me in this mountain. You want to go to the right at the beginning, get on top of this pipe, and then as it curves to the left here to avoid this mountain, you're going to hop off it and then just climb up this mountain here. And there are no death triggers here, so now this is sort of like an out-of-bounds area, but oh no, not really, because I just sort of walked here. But we're just going to follow this mountain range for a ways and head straight towards the exit, which you can see in the distance way over there. It's actually loaded right now. That's the exit of the map. We're running pretty much straight to it, and going like the intended route brings you really far to the left. It's not very direct. But yeah, the reason that I have the overdraw on right now is because it's just incredibly difficult to see where you're going if you don't have that on. And I wanted to go through this first so that you could see everything, and then I'll go through it another time to try and give you like references to look for. Alright, so at the end, whenever it slopes upwards really sharply, we're just going to hug the right side of it and then just fall off. And then just continue running forward. That was the first mountain range, and we're going to be walking straight to the second large set of hills over here. And you're going to climb back up on top of that. There's like a pretty shallow slope off to the right. We're going to use that to get up. Boosting in this game's a little bit weird, but you can technically make it up right in front of me, but it's just a lot more consistent to come around to the right here, and then just spam jump to get up. And that'll get you up, and there's this rocky ridge that has a really unique color to it, and just gonna hop on top of that. And just walk off it whenever it jerks to the left really quick right here. And that should line you up to hit the spider cave in front of us right here. That was Ross, who just sort of spawns out of bounds every now and then. Don't worry about him. Still moving directly to the exit. If you would be going inbounds, the spider caves make you take a very indirect route in that little maze area in there, but we're just going to bypass that by being out of bounds, which we are 100% out of bounds right now, because you can see to the left that's inbounds. I'm not sure exactly what point we made it out of bounds, but I don't know. We're here now. So there's the third mountain range that we need to get on top of. There's not a perfect spot to get up around here, but you want to get up somewhere along this wall right here. And I generally pick this spot because it looks sort of shallow. You can kind of get up relatively consistently, and it puts you right next to this little slope that goes back down into the inbound section. We're just going to use this ridge, jumping down back into the end here. Just follow this back until we get to the light section right here. And this is the end of outside of Tau. And from here you're just running forward, fast forward to the end. And there we go, a really direct route for this map where you sort of go out of bounds a little bit, hop back in, avoid the death triggers. So, let's go ahead and load, and I'm going to go through it again without debug overdraw on, where the visibility is much, much worse. And I'll try and point out some references that I have so that you don't get lost in the abyss. Okay, so first things first, let's turn that off. And now we continue on with very low visibility. So step one, we get past this building to our right, and then we scoot around it to get on top of this pipe. It's the first reference point. We're going to follow this until it gradually turns to the left to avoid this mountain, and then we're just going to climb up the mountain. Usually spam jump to get up these things slightly faster, and if you don't spam jump, I'm pretty sure you get stuck on the terrain, so just spam jump anytime you want to get up any of these mountains. Alright, so here's the visual effect that makes this map really ass. It makes it somewhat difficult to see throughout the entirety of the level. It gets gradually worse as time goes on, except for a tiny spot next to the spider cave where it clears up for a bit. It's actually not as bad as I remember it. I haven't really done this map very much out of bounds. Anyway, we're just following this mountain range until it slopes up suddenly, and then we're just going to scoot around to the right. Here we are. Here's where it's suddenly starts to be steep, and we're just going to slide around it to the right and then fall off. Continually moving forward, eventually we'll find that second mountain range in front of us. You can see a vague outline of it, which is good so that you don't get lost. But this map is a lot better since you're always moving in one particular direction. Alright, I'm gonna move a little bit to the right so that I can get up on the shallow part of this mountain range and not get stuck trying to climb up this. It can be a little bit slow getting up these things sometimes, but you can just find the spot that you're most comfortable with. Climb up there. Alright, so here's the bit of rock that's different colored. Gonna hop down there and follow it for a short distance until it suddenly arcs off to the left. Once it does that, we're just gonna hop down, and somewhere in front of us is the spider cave. Little visual effects are going to disappear. There's Ross, ignore him. Visual effects should be dying down soon, and we should see the spider caves pop up. Off to the left here. We're going to stay to the right of the spider caves the entire time, and get back up on top of the third mountain set. I don't have a really good visual cue as to where to get on top of this mountain set, but as long as you're just walking forward the entire time, you should be fine. And we just need to find a spot to get on top of this last bit. Just need to get the last little bit. There we go. And need to search for this thing. It's the little bit of the mountain range that slopes back down into the out-of-bounds section. Brings you right to the entrance of the last section of this map. And you want to come down here because there are, again, a lot of death triggers in this map, but going down in that specific spot whilst jumping avoids them, like at the beginning when you went up that first mountain. And then from here, you just follow these lights to the end, and get to Tau inside. Hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.